I'm Roman Yossi of the Nashville Predators.
I'm Dante Fabro of the Nashville Predators.
This is Philip Forsberg of the Nashville Predators.
I'm Colton Sissons of the Nashville Predators.
I'm Eustace Aros of the Nashville Predators.
You're listening to the Renegades of Puck
with Crazy Charlie.
Welcome to the Bunker. Welcome to the Renegades of Puck podcast. I'm your host and captain, Crazy Charlie Saunier, and before we get to the No Half Step in Hockey coverage, first, let me direct you to our home website, renegadesofpuck.com. Once you go to renegadesofpuck.com, you'll learn everything you need to know about the show. Once you're good and educated about the show, that's when you can click on that merchandise tab. It can take you straight to our classic logo t-shirt, our Pride logo t-shirt, all of our different special event t-shirts, and so much more. All the gimmicks you've come to know and love and expect from Renegades of Puck are all still available in our online store. Whether that is socks, throw pillows, wall art, bed sets, it makes no difference to the Renegades of Puck. Something like 88 different items in our online store in total. Best said, we've sold out so that you can buy in. Social media is of critical importance to this independent operation, so here's how you can support the Renegades of Puck. You can jump in the trenches on X or on Threads, also on Facebook and Instagram. We're also on TikTok. You can find us on all of those different social media platforms. Whatever it is you prefer, please join us there today. It doesn't cost you a thing. It doesn't take you but a second, but it sure does go a long way to helping us out in the trenches here with this operation that we're running. YouTube is incredibly important to the future of this particular podcast and this show. So please, if you can subscribe to the channel, do so. Search Renegades of Puck, hit that subscription button, turn on those notifications, and we sure would appreciate you being our #1 YouTube fan like our good friend Carlos out in Memphis, keeping an eye on the western frontier for the Renegades of Puck here in the state of Tennessee. Carlos is all over our YouTube channel, and we sure do appreciate that, my friend. Every time you check out one of our videos, every time you give us a thumbs up, you give us a comment, it helps us out in what we are trying to build to. So everybody, Renegades, be more like Carlos in Memphis. Join us on YouTube and help us out along the way. The audio podcast can be found on numerous platforms, and we are currently in process of expanding our reach when it comes to the audio platform. We are registering and becoming platformed on a host of new different places. So we will be letting you know more details about that coming up here soon. With the popularity of the Nashville Predators right now and the success of the podcast over the last 2 years, it was time to start growing and time to start expanding and building the audience even bigger than it already was. So search for the Renegades of Puck podcast on your preferred audio platform today, including iHeartRadio. That's somewhere you could not find us before, but you can now. So we would appreciate it if you would check out the audio podcast wherever it is that you prefer. Venmo, that's how you support the show financially. You can scan the QR code that's currently on your screen, or just go to Venmo and search out Renegades of Puck and make a donation. Every dollar goes a long way to helping this independent operation, and we sure could use some dollars as the heat is starting to rise on the outside and also amongst the playoff atmospheres. We are definitely going to need to complete that HVAC program system, whatever it is the consultants want us to do here to keep our equipment from getting too burned out, especially when it comes to the humidity. I think all of you can relate to the humidity in the South when it comes to June, July, and August. That is very, very difficult on the equipment, and last year we ended up having to replace several different things because we were not prepared to deal with the things that come with the weather when it comes to running your own independent studio. So appreciate if anybody can make a donation. Thank you. That was a lot to say, but I needed to get it out because I like to be fully transparent with you on what we are working on behind the scenes and why I am constantly soliciting donations from you, the audience. So again, stick taps, love, and respect to each and every one of you out there. Now, listen, I know it's time for the No Half Step in Hockey coverage, so let me deliver the goods. It's time for operation number 894. That is right. It is time for show number 894. And at this moment in hockey history, the Nashville Predators currently find themselves in fourth place in the Central Division. After 72 games played on the season, there are only 10 games left in the season. There are only 10 games left in the regular season. The Nashville Predators currently have a record of 43-25-4, 90 points. Has the Nashville Predators 4 points shy, the closest they have been to third place, which is an automatic qualifying playoff spot in the Central Division. There are 7 points from second place, 9 points from first place. Full Central Division update coming in moments. The Nashville Predators on the road, which is where their next game will take place, have a very respectable record of 22-10-3. As a matter of fact, those 22 wins on the road represent second overall in the Central Division behind just the Dallas Stars by 1. Predators have scored 236 goals this season. They've given up 210 against. That's a goal differential of plus 26. The Arizona Coyotes are the Nashville Predators' next opponent. We'll get into the week ahead for the Preds, the season recap of the series between these two. We'll talk a little Arizona Coyotes hockey, and then we'll get you the stats, the goaltending matchups before the end of this preview segment. Now let's talk about those statistics, because with 10 games to go in the season, it is of critical importance that we go through every single one of these lines, except for the bottom two. The Dallas Stars are currently in first place in the Central Division after 73 games skated. They have skated the most overall in the Central Division. Everyone else is at 72, Minnesota at 71, but the Central Division is all very even in games played right now, except for the Dallas Stars, who have played one more game than everybody else. With 45 regulation victories, the Dallas Stars are in first place with 99 points. They are 2 points ahead of the second place Colorado Avalanche with one game in hand, 97 points for the Avs in second. The Winnipeg Jets are in third place in the Central Division. They've also skated 72 games. Those games in hand that Winnipeg was sitting on and relying on for months have finally dissolved, and they have played the same number of games as everybody else in the three-team weave and the teams below them. The Winnipeg Jets are at 94 points, so they have fallen 5 points behind the first place pace of the Central Division. Then the Nashville Predators will find themselves in fourth place, just on the outside of an automatic qualifying playoff spot. As a matter of fact, if the Preds were in the Pacific Division, they'd be in second place comfortably right now at this very moment. But in the Central Division, they are in fourth place, 90 points, as the Preds 4 points behind Winnipeg for an automatic qualifying playoff spot, but well ahead in the wild card position. We'll update the wild card here in just a couple of seconds. St. Louis Blues in fifth in the Central Division are 10 points behind the Nashville Predators with 10 games to go in the season. Then you'll find the Minnesota Wild in sixth place with 77 points. And then the Arizona Coyotes have blossomed that little E next to their logo, which means they have officially been eliminated going into this next game against the Nashville Predators. They sit in seventh place. They have 65 points, and their season completely fell apart right around January the 24th. More on that coming up in just a second. The Blackhawks, also eighth and final spot in the Central Division, have been eliminated for some time now, 47 points on the season. Now, when it comes to the wild card, which is the most important standings right now for this Nashville Predators team, the Predators sit first in the wild card with 90 points. The Vegas Golden Knights are in the second wild card position with 86 points. St. Louis, first team on the outside, looking at 80 points. Minnesota, the second team, 77 points. And at this point, realistically, with 10 games to go in the season, everybody else is out of it at this moment in time. I don't even think that St. Louis and Minnesota are necessarily in it unless the Vegas Golden Knights suddenly drop back, and I just don't see that happening with the amount of talent they have on that squad. So the Predators have a 10-point cushion between themselves and the St. Louis Blues, which are the first team on the outside looking in, 4 points over the Vegas Golden Knights, and some important head-to-head tiebreakers as well. What does that mean for the Nashville Predators? Well, at this moment in time, if the playoffs were to begin, it would mean the Nashville Predators would be facing off against the Dallas Stars here in the first round of the playoffs, while the Vegas Golden Knights would be facing off against the Vancouver Canucks. That would plug the Preds into the Central Division bracket and the Vegas Golden Knights into the Pacific Division bracket, which is their home division brackets anyway, so it wouldn't be all that weird. Now, we've talked about the standings update, and we've talked about the importance of all of these things, and we've talked about how there's only 10 games left in the season. Let's talk about the Preds' week ahead to come. After this game on Thursday night in the desert, Saturday, they'll head off to Colorado for a critical Central Division game. Both of these are critical Central Division games. The Arizona Coyotes, newly eliminated, suddenly playing a little bit more free and loose. You have to be careful of that. Colorado Avalanche trying to win a division, definitely going to be a difficult stop in Denver. Tuesday, back home at Bridgestone Arena to face off against, just throw the Boston Bruins into the mix. Why not? Easily one of the toughest games left on the Nashville Predators regular season schedule. Hey, let's make that a preview of a best-of-7 series that's going to happen sometime in June. Thursday, St. Louis Blues are in town. The Predators could possibly end the St. Louis Blues season on that night if the standings work out in the Predators' favor for the next couple of games. On the 6th of April, already in April, it's at the New York Islanders, and then on the 7th of April at the New Jersey Devils. So the Predators do have a back-to-back coming up in the next week plus ahead. Now, the Preds and the Coyotes are about to wrap up their 4-game regular season series, and this has been one of the wackier season series that the Predators have had so far. Just to give you the numbers, the Preds are 1-2 against Arizona this year. They've only collected 2 out of 6 points, and they have been outscored 14-12 by a team that is currently 25 points behind them in the standings. But for the Arizona Coyotes, it wasn't always that way. As a matter of fact, the Arizona Coyotes were in prime position once we crossed over into the new year and began play in January, but they, like their logo, have fallen completely off a cliff, embracing the spirit animal of Wile E. Coyote a little too literally in the standings for this Arizona Coyotes team. So let's talk about the season series, and let's drill down individually on the Coyotes, then we'll talk about the matchup and the statistics. These two teams met for the first time back on November the 11th at Bridgestone Arena. It was the Arizona Coyotes with 7, the Nashville Predators with 5 in that game. UC Saros gave up 6 of those goals and took the loss. Philip Forsberg, 2 goals and assists for 3 points. O'Reilly, Sherwood, Fabro also chipped in with goals. Connor Ingram came back to Bridgestone Arena, picked up the win with an improbable winning stat line, 37 out of 42. Carcone had 2 goals, Cooley had 3 assists, and Keller had 3 points in total. They dominated the Nashville Predators after the Predators got off to a great start, got out to a lead, and then just let that lead dissolve and then got pummeled later on. On the 20th of January, they would meet for the second time in Arizona for the first time. The Arizona Coyotes would get the victory on home ice, 3-2. Saros would get the loss again, 21 out of 24. Yossi and Novak were the goal scorers for the Predators. Ingram again defeats his old team, the Nashville Predators, 30 out of 32 in that one. And Keller, damage again, 2 goals, now 3 goals and 5 points total against his Predators team through 2 games. They'd meet a third time. It would be on February the 10th as the Nashville Predators were starting to gain momentum in this portion of the season schedule, and the Arizona Coyotes were starting to see things slip away before their very eyes. On the 10th of February, the third meeting of the season between these two teams, the Predators would win 5-4 in overtime. Saros would get the victory this time in his third attempt against Arizona this season, 27 out of 31. Forsberg, Novak, O'Reilly, Yossi, McDonough. So 5 different goal scorers for this Nashville Predators team. The Preds finally solve Connor Ingram, who goes 32 out of 37 and takes the loss in that game. So the Nashville Predators, again, to recap, 1-2 on the season, have only secured 2 out of a possible 6 points against Arizona and have been outscored 14-12. This is a very important 2 points. While the Arizona Coyotes have already been eliminated, they have the opportunity to do something that, frankly, they haven't been able to do as of late, and there's an example of exactly what concerns me. So let's flip over to the other side of this thing. Let's talk about the Arizona Coyotes for a minute. Coyotes have played the same number of games as the Preds on the season, 72. They have a record of 30, 37, and 5. 65 points has them, well, frankly, eliminated. And their home record is 19, 17, and 0, including a victory against this Nashville Predators team. They scored 213 on the season. They gave up 236. That's a goal differential of -23. Now, here is what I have alluded to as part 1 of the Coyote story of the season. Coyotes were just cruising right along and looking like they were every bit a challenger for a wild card position in the Central Division this season in the Western Conference. And then on January the 24th, things just really, truly, and when I say fell off a cliff, I mean fell off a cliff. The Coyotes are 7-18-2 since January the 24th. 7-18-2. Again, they were competing hard for a playoff spot, and now they are eliminated. It happened that quickly. So the last 7 weeks for this Arizona Coyotes team have just truly been a miserable stretch. Now, taking out the 7-18-2 record, let's bore down on the most recent 5 because there is something in here that makes me concerned about this next game for the Predators. On the 16th of March, it was a 4-1 win versus the New Jersey Devils. The Devils have been in disarray, but better as of late. That's still a good victory for a team that's barely won in 7 weeks. On the 20th of March, a 5-2 loss at the Dallas Stars. Stars competing for a division title. That's always going to be a big one. On the 22nd of March, a 2-1 overtime win versus Seattle. Seattle's not that good right now. On the 24th of March, a 4-2 loss versus Dallas. So 2 losses in their previous 4 here, both to Dallas home and away. And the most recent game, the 26th of March, it was a 6-2 win versus the Columbus Blue Jackets. Now listen, the New Jersey Devils are not that great of a team, but they are fighting to try to get back in the wild card picture here in the final games of the season. The Columbus Blue Jackets have been miserable all season long, have been eliminated. The Dallas Stars are fantastic. The Seattle Kraken are So the Arizona Coyotes have managed to win 3 games out of their last 5, and the only 2 losses coming against the Dallas Stars, who have 99 points and are competing for the Central Division title. I see a trend of a team that's been eliminated and who has nothing left to play for other than future positions on the team, potentially millions of dollars in their careers based on other GMs getting a chance to take a look at them here at the end of the season as they might be free agents. And for the Arizona Coyotes, the only joy probably left is being spoilers. And that's where they have an opportunity to come in here and wreck the Nashville Predators' current point scoring streak, which is a record for the Nashville Predators franchise. But that 6-2 win versus the Columbus Blue Jackets, a lot of fun. They're out in Arizona as a certain familiar name in Doan, the next generation, has now made his debut and is making things happen out there. So for the Arizona Coyotes, while defeating the Columbus Blue Jackets 6-2 isn't all that impressive. Winning any games for the Arizona Coyotes is impressive, and they're playing a little bit more free, a little bit easy, and playing a little bit more of their youth. That means the Nashville Predators have to pay attention to the minuscule details of this game if they want to keep the point streak rolling, and obviously they do. That team's fighting hard out there. Let's talk about the matchup in the NHL rankings between these two teams. It is going to be the Nashville Predators leading the goals for category 3.25 per game. I believe that's the highest it's been all season long. That's 12th best in the NHL. The Arizona Coyotes are at 2.93 goals per game. That's 22nd. 2.92 goals against per game is 10th best in the NHL for the Nashville Predators. Goals against for Arizona is 3.28. That's 22nd overall. Shots for Nashville, 31.6 is 10th best in the league. Shots for Arizona, 27.4 is 28th. In the shots against category, 30.1 is 18th overall in the National Hockey League for the Nashville Predators, while 31.8 for Arizona is the 24th rated shots against category. In the special teams categories, it is the Nashville Predators power play rated 20th overall in the NHL, 20.3% is their conversion rate, 48 conversions, 237 opportunities, but the Arizona Coyotes are 6 points ahead of the Nashville Predators on the power play at 14th in the league, 22% conversion rate, 47 conversions on 214 opportunities, so only 1 less power play goal. Overall, a much better conversion percentage for Arizona. On the PK, the Nashville Predators are ahead of Arizona, but not by very much. Both of them in the lower third of the league. The Nashville Predators penalty kill rate is 77.2%. That's 21st in the league. They've given up 49 power play goals against Arizona's PK is 76.5% kill rate, 25th overall in the league, 4 spots behind Nashville. 56 power play goals against. That is a very, very high number. So aside from the power play and the top 6 metrics that we track in this particular part of the preview, the Arizona Coyotes are on the bottom third of the league in 5 of those 6. The Nashville Predators are in the top 10. 10 counts as the top 10. They're in the top 10 in 2 of those 6 categories, so in the top third of the league, and they are at least in the top 2/3 of the league in 5 of the 6 categories that we track here in the preview. So the Nashville Predators have certainly helped themselves in the standings and in a number of other categories. They look like a much more impressive team than they did back at the turn of the year. Now, when it comes to individual statistics, we all know about every one of these teams in the NHL. They are full of high-skilled individuals. And I look at a team like the Arizona Coyotes, only 65 points, eliminated from the playoffs. But I see on the top of their stat line, Keller, who has done much damage against this Preds team this year. 30 goals, 33 assists for 63 points on the season. His 30 goals represents tops in that category, but not tops in assists, tops in points, of course. Schmaltz is at 20 goals, 32 assists for 52 points on the season. Michelli has done some damage against this Preds team this year, 12 and 36 for 48. Bukestad, 19 goals, 22 assists for 41 points. And Kerfoot, 11 goals and 27 assists for 38 points. Over on the other side of the ledger, because of some of the red-hot offensive streaks that some of these players have been on, some of these numbers are starting to look quite wonderful as a season total, and there's still 10 games to go. Forsberg is now at 40 goals, plus 41 assists, 81 points on the season. 40 goals represents the team lead, and he is also the second time in his career that he eclipsed 40 goals, and the first player in franchise history to reach the 40-goal plateau 2 different times. The captain, Roman Josi, leads the team in assists with 54. You add his 19 goals to that. Red hot streak as of late has him all the way up to 73 points on the season. Gus Nyquist has reached the 20-goal plateau, and he also has 45 assists, a career high, and 65 points. That is a career high as well for Nyquist. O'Reilly reaches the 25-goal mark, plus 36 assists now for 61 points on the year, and Tommy Novak is at 15 and 24 for 39. Anticipated goaltending matchup sees UC, Saros, and these numbers have become so much more impressive now that the Predators have been on such a long point-gaining streak. Saros, his overall record, 32, 21, and 4, a .909 save percentage, a 2.75 goals against average, 3 shutouts on the season. Connor Ingram, while the Coyotes have largely fallen off of the cliff, well, they have completely fallen off the cliff, not largely, they were eliminated. Connor Ingram's put up a really strong season, 19, 19, and 3 overall. He's got 2 victories against this Nashville Predators team, a .908 save percentage on the year, and 2.87 goals against. But listen to this number, and this deserves some incredible stick taps. 6 shutouts on the year. 6 shutouts in his 19 victories for Connor Ingram. That is highly impressive stuff and shows that he's fully capable of being a full-time starting goaltender in the NHL. If you put a better club in front of him, Connor Ingram could put up some really special numbers if he can carry a .908 save percentage, of 2.87 goals against average, and get to 6 shutouts again in a season. That's a really high number for any goaltender in the NHL to reach in just one season. That's going to do it for the preview of this game. Excited about this one. Late start time. Nashville Predators winding down the road schedule here. 2 of them coming up here, and then a couple of more up in the Northeast, and then the road schedule is finished for the season, and the home schedule is finished. It's only 10 more games to go for this Nashville Predators team before we start talking about the playoffs and we start previewing round 1 of the playoffs. I believe that's where the Nashville Predators will find themselves. I believe with a 10-point cushion and only 10 games to go, that the Nashville Predators are completely in control of their own destiny, and it would take a rather epic collapse, since I believe the stat is that no team that's reached 96 points has ever missed the playoffs. Brian Baston, get back on the show and tell me what that is. That's going to do it for the preview section of the show. Let's get back and talk about the last game against the Nashville Predators, and what an incredible game it was. It was the Vegas Golden Knights at Bridgestone Arena. It's called the Rebirth Sports Full Game Recap, and we're taking you to it right after this on the Renegades of Puck podcast.
Hockey players are as unique as the game itself, and your uniform should be tailored to fit you. Rebirth Sports is your sports apparel tailor. From shells, bags, warm-ups, hats, hoodies, branding, and more, let Rebirth Sports be your custom hockey tailor.
And don't forget to tell them they do more than just hockey.
Rebirth Sports on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Rebirth Sport, a match made in hockey.
It's now time for the Rebirth Sports Full Game Recap. We go all the way back to March 26th of the year 2024, when the Nashville Predators were hosting the Vegas Golden Knights at Bridgestone Arena. Head coach Andrew Burnett deployed his lines and his defensive pairings in the following way: Forsberg, O'Reilly, and Nyquist, Beauvillier, Sissensen, Zucker, Jankowski, Novak, Evangelista, Smith, McCarron, and Sherwood. Your defensive pairings are McDonough and Yossi, Luzon and Shen, so welcome back to the lineup, Luzon, and Del Gaizo and Barry making your third defensive pairing. UC Saros gets the start on home ice. 21 seconds into the game, and it's Patera coming up with a save on Smith. It's the first shot on goal of the game. At 1:14 of the first period, it's Saros coming with a save on Amadio. It's his first touch of the game. At the 2:04 mark of the first period, it's Patera coming with a save on Tommy Novak. At 2:44 of the first period, it's Barbashev scoring his 16th goal of the season, breaking through early in this game, putting the Vegas Golden Knights on top 1-0. Eichel's feed across the zone made the play happen in every single way, but Barbashev's finish also deserves some credit on this one. Vegas leads 1-0. 3:22 into the first period, it's Saros coming with another save on Amadio. At 5:08 of the first period, it's Howden getting his 7th goal of the season and Vegas' 2nd goal of the game. Luzon with the turnover, looking shaky coming back from injury early in this game. Shen loses the open man in front, and between the two of them, this play turned out to be quite messy. Vegas succeeds in turning the puck over and putting it into the net. Howden is 7th. The Vegas Golden Knights lead 2-0. 7:29 in the first period. Saros comes with a save on Cotter's backhand. 8:04, the first period. Saros comes with a save on Hutton at the 9:12 mark of the first period. Patera comes with a save on Evangelista at close range. 9:31, Evangelista hits the crossbar on the same shift. Off the next face-off, Novak hits the post, so the Predators hit iron twice in a row here. 10:17 in the first period. Patera comes with a save on Nyquist at the 11:57 mark of the first period. Saros comes with a save on Jack Eichel. Then at 13:40, Patera a save on Tommy Novak without the stick. He had lost it due to it bumping the post, but still makes the save. 15-minute mark of the period. Patera comes with the save on McCarron. A nice scrum after the whistle. 16-17 of the first. Patera comes up with a save on Sisson, and at 16:43, Theodore gets his 5th goal of the season. Another turnover on a clearing attempt by the Nashville Predators finds its way into the back of the net. UC Saros not getting a lot of help from the team in front of him in this first period. Vegas with a 3-0 lead now. 18:42 of the first period. Patera comes with a save on Forsberg. 19:34. Saros comes with a save on Marchessault. Vegas has a 3-0 lead after the first period, and they're also out shooting the Nashville Predators 14-11. So since the streak is obviously over, the game is over, let's just go ahead and wrap this thing up early, and let's get on out of here. And okay, I'll keep going. 30 seconds into the second period, Patera comes up with a save on Sherwood at the 1:35 mark of the second period. UC Saros comes up with a save on Jack Eichel at the 2:25 mark of the second period. We find our first penalty of the game. Our first special teams scenario comes when the game's already 3-0. It's Cotter off to the box, 2 minutes for tripping, putting the Nashville Predators on the power play. Patera would come up with a save on the captain, Roman Josi, but then Barry would pick up a penalty, 2 minutes for slashing. Now, Barry not only made a terrible play on the power play, turning the puck over, but then in pursuit takes the penalty. This leads to a 4-on-4 for a total of 11 seconds, and then that's going to put the Vegas Golden Knights on the power play. Patera is going to come up with a shorthanded save on Smith after Smith just absolutely blew his man up to dislodge the puck and then took it straight to the net for a scoring opportunity right here. That got the crowd buzzing. 6:22 of the second period. Patera comes with a save on Barry's breakaway fresh out of the box. Barry also had a rebound opportunity at it, but could not get it to go. 7:20 of the second, Saros comes with a save on Howden. 8:49 of the second, Saros comes with a save on Amadio's partial breakaway, plus his rebound follow-up. The rebound follow-up may have been the better of the two scoring opportunities in this exchange. 9:56 of the second period. It is Patera coming up with a save on Sherwood plus Del Gaizo's rebound follow-up. 11:19 now, just past the halfway point in the game. Patera comes up with a save on Beauvillier at close range. Beauvillier's really had a tough go since joining the Nashville Predators, getting onto that score sheet. 13:11 of the second period. Patera comes up with a save on Forsberg. 13:49. Patera comes up with a save on the captain, Roman Josi. We flip over to the backside of the sheet, and at 14:33 of the second period, we find Jankowski coming up with his 5th goal of the season. Luke Evangelista with the setup from the corner to just above the dot. Jankowski with a nice reception and then sending it right into the net. Good, hard, accurate wrist shot. Jankowski's 5th gets the Preds on the board. Vegas holds a 3-1 lead now in the second period. 15 away to the second period. It's Patera coming in with saving the captain, Roman Josi, at 19:02 of the second period. It is Carlson getting his 25th goal of the season. It was a redirect at the top of the crease off of the rush, and what a great chip redirect it was for Carlson. And his 25th goal of the season puts Vegas back ahead by 3, now up 4-1. As we hit the end of the second period, it is the Nashville Predators out shooting the Vegas Golden Knights 27-23. The Preds finally get on the board in this period, but they do give up another goal, still down by 3 after 40 minutes. We go over the fresh sheet into the third period. We are 30 seconds in where we pick up our first bit of action. It's Sherwood off to the box, 2 minutes for unsportsmanlike conduct. It was a couple of different scrums, pairing offs around the ice, and a lot of chirping going on, but it didn't seem like Sherwood had done anything too egregious, but he takes up 2 minutes for unsportsmanlike conduct. Predators go on the penalty kill. Crowd disagrees. Saros comes up with a save on Dorofeyev on this particular penalty kill, and the Predators PK does a great job closing it out. At the 5:32 mark of the third period, it's going to be Ryan O'Reilly coming up with his 25th goal of the season. Nyquist makes a pass through the low slot to O'Reilly for the jam. O'Reilly's 25th goal is the Preds' second goal of the game. The Preds down by 2 here, 4-2, just 5 minutes and 52 seconds into the third period. At the 6:27 mark of the third period, it's Patera coming up with a save on the captain, Roman Josi. At 7:33, UC Saros comes up with a save on Jack Eichel. At the 9:20 9:23 mark of the third period. UC Saros coming with a save on Carlson just past the halfway point of the third period. The 11:05 mark, we find UC Saros coming up with yet another save on Jack Eichel. And all that hard work UC Saros has been doing here in the third period allows Philip Forsberg at the 12:17 mark of the third period to pick up his 40th goal of the season. It was rebound jam. Zucker was working and working but could not get the puck. Forsberg, ever the opportunist, finds the loose puck, pokes it into the net. This play was challenged, but no, not what you think it would be challenged for with all the jamming I was just talking about. It was, in fact, challenged for offsides. A lengthy review during this challenge. It ends up being upheld. We have a good goal. So to go back, Philip Forsberg's 40th goal comes on the rebound jam. Vegas now leads 4-3, and because of the failed challenge, the Vegas Golden Knights are charged with a 2-minute penalty for delay of game. That puts the Nashville Predators immediately on the power play after Forsberg's 40th, and Forsberg's line mate Nyquist is putting his 20th goal of the season into the net, tying this game up at 4 apiece. So the Nashville Predators, within just a matter of seconds, go from down 2 to tied at 4 apiece. We go to 13:58 now of the third period in a very tight, highly contested playoff feel. And it's UC Saros coming with a save on Jack Eichel at the 15:04 mark of the third period. Saros coming with a save on Theodore. And then the two teams would lock it down. They played each other incredibly intensely hard and tight over the final couple of minutes of this game to earn that point for each. And for the Nashville Predators, unbelievable. A 3-goal comeback in the third period to earn that point against the Vegas Golden Knights and keep their point streak alive. At the end of regulation, Vegas is out shooting Nashville 35-34. We go into overtime, tied at 4 apiece with an absolute playoff feel in the rink, and it's 40 seconds in when the captain, Roman Josi, makes the power move to the net and tucks the puck in behind Patera. Eichel's stick check could do nothing to stop the handsomeness of the captain, Roman Josi, from winning this game. His 19th of the season is the winner for the Preds. 5-4 in overtime. Shots on goal, 35 apiece for these two teams. A highly improbable, considering the way the Predators started this game in the first period, fought back in the second, but didn't really gain any ground. 3-goal comeback in the final 20 minutes, really in the final 15 minutes of this game, and then to win in overtime. Just incredible. And when sometimes you got to lean on your top guys to get things done, there it was. O'Reilly, Forsberg, Nyquist, Josi with the 4 goals in the third period and the overtime to secure the Nashville Predators the victory in this game over the team just below them in the wild card, and a team in Vegas that certainly was coming in the first period and making a big statement. I saw some discourse that said wild card 2 team is definitely better than the wild card 1 team. Well, by the end of the third period and overtime, I beg to differ when it comes to that. The Predators extend their cushion over the Vegas Golden Knights by defeating them 5-4 in overtime, winning the regular season series. What a thrilling 3-goal comeback, and the top guys get the job done for this Nashville person. We have so much more to talk about from this game. The box score analysis, opinions, and all of that. So much more coming up next. That was the Rebirth Sports full game recap. This right here is the Renegades of Puck podcast.
Hello. I'm Tracy, owner-operator of Strong Style Fitness. And that's me and my training assistant, Rizzo. And we are here to bring you fitness that meets you where you are by offering circuit classes, bar-inspired classes, Tabata workouts, boot camps, guided stretching, and more, all taught by a certified personal trainer, me. To learn more, go to our website, strongstylefit.com. Subscribe on YouTube at Strong Style Fitness. Follow on social media at Strong Style Fit. But most importantly, let's get you moving. It doesn't matter if it's your first workout or you've been doing it for years. Strong Style Fitness has the workout that meets you on your journey and helps you along the path to a happier, healthier life. I understand where you've been, what you were going through, and where you were going, and I want to take you there. We'll see you on the mat. Mwah.
Welcome back in. That was the Rebirth Sports full game recap. Now time for some analysis, time for some stats, and time for a little bit of opinion. UC Saros got the start in this one, and wow, it did not look good from the start. 31 out of 35 was his total numbers, 4 goals against, and it looked rough early, but the team in front of him was not very good, and the turnovers, the shots coming from close range, the deflections, the redirections, UC Saros was under siege, and there wasn't much he could do. Once the team got their skates under them, once they started giving him a little bit better support, he got stronger and stronger as the game went along. And listen, that game was not guaranteed to make it to overtime. Once Spurs tied this one up, Vegas had a response shift that had them buzzing all over the Preds zone. Now, the Preds defenders really stepped up at that moment as the shots on goal were limited during this stretch, but zone time possession for Vegas, they were in some dangerous areas. UC Saros did respond when he needed to in that stretch of hockey, but the Nashville Predators were definitely pinned in once this game was tied at 4 apiece late in the third period, and UC Saros had to continue to be strong, and then the Preds get the victory in overtime without Saros having to even face a shot. So 31 out of 35 in this game. First period's one that everybody would like to forget, and it's one that, wow, it's one of those moments in the season. It's a first period that you can forget now, because what happened in the third period in overtime will far overshadow, honestly, what happened in the first period. Just set up the tremendous, great story that unfolded in the third period and OT. Let's talk about the offense from this Predators team, which was virtually non-existent for about 40 minutes of this game. Then they absolutely came alive. Philip Forsberg has a goal and 2 assists in this game for 3 points. He gets his 40th goal of the season. Already mentioned it once, worth mentioning again. The first player to do that 2 times as a Nashville Predator. Matt Duchene, of course, the only other Predator in franchise history to reach the 40-goal mark, and is the current franchise goals leader for a single season. But Philip Forsberg is tracking that down very quickly, and no reason that he's not going to get to it. So for Philip Forsberg, congratulations. And the 40th goal comes in such a great way. He jumps onto a rebound, gets to the crease area, and pokes the puck in. And he's doing the hard things. He's going to the hard areas. He's not scoring these goals with a ton of finesse or trickery or sorcery or the things that we come to expect King Scoresberg to be doing. He is putting the puck in the net with the jam on regularity. It's been an impressive streak to watch, and now his 40th goal of the season. Impressive stuff. Over 80 points in total. Nyquist, the game-tying goal plus an assist. 20 goals on the season. He continues to be the perfect fit for this Nashville Predators team. He's the player you didn't know that you were going to fall in love with, and the player that you really didn't want when free agency came and went, and you thought, why did Barry Trotz sign this cast-off, this retread, who's been on a couple of teams? He's been injured. I don't know about this one. Now he's just got 20 goals, 45 assists for 65 points on the season, career highs in assists and points. And as part of the Swedish Meatballs, he's fitting in perfectly on this Nashville Predators team. So Nyquist gets the game-tying goal, tying the game up at 4 apiece. O'Reilly, also a huge factor in this game. 1 goal and 2 assists for 3 points. 18:44 in total time on ice. Led the forwards in total time on ice. So when you go back and you look at it, the Predators were down 4-1 to start the third period. The first line of the Nashville Predators of Forsberg, Nyquist, O'Reilly did not have a single point in this game. The first line after the second period, or in the third period in overtime, was able to gather 8 points in total. 3 goals and 8 points total, allowing the Nashville Predators to come back from 3 goals down and win this game. You don't always want to rely heavily on your top guys to do all of the work, but when you're down by 3 goals, you need your best guys to step up if you have any chance of coming back, and that's what O'Reilly, Forsberg, Nyquist did, and then the captain, Roman Josi, steps in there in overtime once the Predators secured the point, and that building was just absolutely rocking. The third goal, the review, and then the power play on the challenge, on the failed challenge, and then the fourth goal to tie it up, and then the stretch and the tension down the stretch there the last couple months. It was playoff atmosphere all the way around. There were a lot of visiting fans in the rink, and the home fans were loud, proud, and out of their seats. This was a really tremendous amount of energy in this building down the final minutes of this game. When it got to overtime, that continued as the captain, Roman Josi, electrified Bridgestone Arena. He takes the puck from Forsberg. He takes the handoff. He goes around the circle and just makes the power move, drives straight to the net from an angle, and then then outweights the goaltender and tucks it in, eludes the stick check of Eichel, and nobody on Vegas was going to stop the captain, Roman Josi. He went through that entire team, knifed right through him, puts the puck in. That building absolutely exploded. Roman Josi, incredible comments afterwards, thanking the fans and talking about how incredible they were. That's the type of atmosphere which makes Bridgestone Arena so difficult to come and play in at this time of year and during the postseason. The feeling, the magic is starting to come back. It has been growing this season. Now, there's been a lot of visiting fans in, but that's going to get closed down pretty quickly once we hit the playoffs. So for the Nashville Predators, 3-goal comebacks in the third period on home ice, incredibly rare. I can remember one against the Red Wings that had everyone abuzz back in the Legwan Hall Timonen days. I can remember one against St. Louis where a particular tradition began because of the excitement of the third period, and this seemed to rekindle that fire. The fan base has been growing, and that smoke has been coming out of the beginnings of that fire, and now I think people are starting to really believe it is extremely rare to get to witness a 3-goal comeback on home ice against a really good team. Fair point to Vegas. They were on the second night of back-to-backs. They were playing a goaltender who had limited experience in the NHL. But the Nashville Predators came back from down 3. First of all, shut off the Vegas offense and stopped them from scoring anymore. And then scored 4 goals and added the 5th in overtime. So credit to the Nashville Predators all the way around. And the fan base seems to be buying in. I bet you the moment walking down the steps or going down the escalator at Bridgestone Arena, the sight you saw was lines forming over at the box office of people looking to purchase not only the next game's tickets, but probably laying that credit card down for playoff reservations. So the Nashville Predators did an awful lot of good work coming back in that third period last night. They could have shrugged their shoulders, said they got a really good cushion right now on their wild card spot. The streak, it can't go on forever. The Nashville Predators fought like that streak needed to continue. They fought like they had to have that point, those points. They fought like they needed that win. And if the Vegas Golden Knights and the Nashville Predators find themselves somehow in a best of 7, maybe in a Western Conference final, that would be one hell of a 7-game series. That Vegas team, a lot of injuries. They're a scary team when rested and healthy. So be careful what you wish for, but what a Western Conference final would be. And if the Predators find themselves in a Western Conference final, it doesn't really damn matter who they're playing. They have far exceeded everyone's expectations and everyone's wildest imaginations for this possible season. Let me grab a little bit of drink of water real quick during the break. Let's hear from our good friend Stripe Digital, and let's get back with the good cold hard numbers known as the box score. Coming up next, right here on the Renegades of Puck podcast.
The digital environment can be quite intimidating, time-consuming, and cumbersome, especially with all those other areas that need attention at your business, and that's why Stripe Digital Solutions is here to help. I know because that's exactly what Stripe Digital Solutions did for me and the Renegades of Puck. From designing my home website and helping me create my merchandise to special event posters, brand building, and social media management. But it's not just that, it's so much more. Stripe Digital Solutions has helped me every step of the way. From startup to full-time operation, Stripe Digital Solutions has been there to assist and advise every single step of the journey. In today's fast-paced world, the path to success is having a strong digital partner, and nobody is better in the trenches than Brandy and Stripe Digital Solutions. Get the solution before it's even a problem with Stripe Digital Solutions.
Welcome back in. Exciting night at Bridgestone Arena. Can still feel the energy even the next day from that one. That is one that stays with you. That's one, if you were lucky enough that was your first hockey game, you're probably a fan for life after that one. That's the type of moment that was for the home team, the Nashville Predators last night. Goal scorers for the Preds here. It's good cold hard numbers. Forsberg, Jankowski, Nyquist, O'Reilly, and Josi. And we don't get to mention Jankowski a whole lot because he was the first goal of the game. It happened in the second period. The Preds were only down 3-1 at that point. So the Jankowski goal is important because the Preds broke through at a time when it seemed like they weren't going to get any offense going in this game. And Jankowski also added an assist to this one. So Mark Jankowski not going to get a lot of talk here, but he deserves some credit, definitely deserves some mention. The assists for the Nashville Predators, 2 for O'Reilly, 2 for Forsberg. Also add 1 to Evangelista, 1 to Jankowski, 1 to Nyquist, 1 to Zucker, and then 1 to Luzon. In the shots on goal category, dominant performances by Philip Forsberg with 8 shots on goal and the captain Romagnosi with 7 shots on goal. Nobody else with more than 2. When it comes to block shots, 3 was the magic number. O'Reilly with 3, Barry with 3, Yossi also with 3. When it comes to the physical component of things, it comes to the hits category. Luzon back in the lineup and looking to track that record. He's lost some progress, and he has to up those numbers. Not first on the team in his first game back, but did put up a nice number. Let's talk about who was first. This was a physical game, and Sherwood was on it from moment one. 10 total hits in this game, and then 8 by Luke Shen, 6 by Michael McCarron, 6 by Cole Smith, and 4 by Jeremy Luzon in his first game back from injury. When it comes to time on ice leaders, it was Philip Forsberg at 19:36 total time on ice, led all the forwards, 18:44 for O'Reilly, 15:38 for Nyquist. On the defensive side of things, the captain, Roman Yossi, put in 33 minutes of solid work in this game. 22:38 for Ryan McDonough, 20:33 for Luzon in his return to the lineup. The power play for the Nashville Predators went 1 for 2, 50%. The power play time on ice leaders, 134 for Jankowski. Oh, that's the penalty killers. Time on ice leaders for the power play for the Predators, 229 apiece for Nyquist and O'Reilly, 228 for Philip Forsberg, 229 on the defensive side of things for Barry and Yossi as well. Now to the penalty kill, which was 2 of 2, so they were perfect and they deserve the stick taps they're about to get. Smith led the way in total time on ice, shorthanded, 129, and then 124 for Cole Sissons, 220 for McDonough, 211 for Luzon, 121 for Delgado, so Mark Delgado getting an opportunity to chip in here on special teams. Some other things falling out of the box score: face-off winning percentage, 47.2%. Vegas really had their way with the Preds in the first half of this game. A lot of possession for Vegas. 49 hits. Nashville Predators, Bridgestone Arena, they don't usually overcount the amount of hits. Their stats are usually pretty accurate and true, so I have no reason to disbelieve 49 hits, but that is one of the biggest numbers of the entire season for this Nashville Predators team, and you can see they spread it around through 5 players, piling up most of those hits. 20 block shots, also a big number. 10 takeaways, 10 giveaways, so even on that particular battle, the goaltender UC Stars, 31 out of 35, 4 goals against, an in-game save percentage of 886, 30 even strength saves, 1 power play save. That's going to do it for the good cold hard numbers known as the box score. What happened in the box score really makes no difference. It's more exciting with the narrative and the story of coming back from down 3 goals in the third period, but those are the numbers, and that's how the Predators got to those particular points. So incredibly thrilling and exciting night at Bridgestone Arena. You know what else was really, really exciting and thrilling? It was Nashville Spartans hockey, as your premier junior team from Nashville is in Utica, and they are looking to make a run at a national championship. In the national championship tournament, 16 teams qualified after multiple rounds of playoffs regionally, and then a seeding round occurred. You've seen the 2 games highlights packages from the seeding round. The Spartans going 2-0, securing the number 3 seed overall out of the 16 teams going into the round of 16. They will face off against the Islanders Hockey Club out of Massachusetts, who are the 14 seed. We take you now to the Nexus Center in Utica as the Nashville Spartans face off against the Islanders.
And hello, everybody, and welcome inside the Utica University Nexus Center. As the field is starting to become more clear, 4 teams have punched their tickets to the quarterfinals, MJDP, this morning. And the Metro Jets just punched their ticket right behind me, along with the Fort Wayne Spacemen and the Charlotte Rush. And hello once again, everybody. I am Christian Adams, and we're going to get to see who the 5th team is that's going to punch their tickets to the quarterfinals. It's the Islanders Hockey Club and the Nashville Spartans. Yan Combo, 6'6", 240. He is a big man and not afraid of playing the body, but the puck comes in front, and they score. The Islanders Hockey Club open the scoring with 15:19 left to go in the first period. And the Underdogs are up 1-0. Nice drop feed. Here's Rodney. Rodney on the backhand cross ice. Reynolds, a shot. Save made by Duzak. Rebound. Roberts. He just pushed it wide. Back to the point it comes for Czech. Cycle starting for IHC. Levasseur gets it left circle and shoots. Save made Duzak. Rebound. Center point for Czech. He'll drop it off Levasseur. Over for Reynolds, right circle. Throws it in front. Great puck movement. Check. Shoots off the post. Back for Levasseur, left point. Levasseur, he'll fire through a crowd. That gets blocked by Hart, and it'll move up to Kyle Flynn. But it is settled down and thrown out to center. And behind the D, it's going to be a breakaway. Walking in, backhand shot. Save made by Duzick. That was Cardozo, was left all alone behind the D. Tried to go to the backhand, but couldn't beat Duzick. Check. We'll move it over. It is Ledfed. Here's Ross across the blue line in on a breakaway. A backhand shot. Glove save made by Duzick. Ross the rebound in front. They score! It's in! It's Lavrinchek! Was left all alone in the slot. He put in the pass from Ross. And it is 2-0 IHC with 16:34 left to go in the second period. McHale on the near side will try and throw it up the wall. It's not going to go. But he will pick it up and skate out to center here. Lead feed, Ronan Keenan. Ronan Keenan in around, waits to the backhand. He scores! Holy cow, what a call by Matt Prier. A shorthanded goal for the Nashville Spartans. They've cut the lead in half. It's 2-1 with 14:50 left to go in the second period.
Who else but Ronan Keenan, his fourth goal of the playoffs.
Play for Reynolds at the side of the net. Feeds it back to the point. There's a shot by Bobko. Save made by Duzick with the glove, and he holds on for no rebound. Van Weingarten, and it is pushed down low. Another penalty coming for a shot. No goal, it stayed out. IHC all celebrated. It's touched up by Nashville. IHC is in disbelief. Poole to the near side. We'll shoot it in. 5:53 left to go in the period. And Kombu, centering feed for Murray. His shot got blocked, and back the other way comes Cardozo. Cardozo looking to get into the slot. He does. Cardozo in. Shot. Save made by Duzick with the right pad. Shot by Seaberg. They score! Right off the draw again. Jesper Seaberg roofs one. And IHC's got their 2-goal lead back. It's 3-1 with 4:23 left to go in the second period.
Jesper Seaberg, his fifth goal of the playoffs.
It'll be shot back out, and here's Isoniemi looking to come in alone. Isoniemi, checked by McHale. He throws it in front. Isoniemi scores! A bouncing puck, and Isoniemi capitalizes! The Islanders' largest lead of the day. It's 4-1. Seaberg on the far side. Out to center for Johnson. Johnson makes a beautiful move around Chisholm. Johnson in alone. Scores! Reese Johnson with a beautiful move to get around Chisholm. And he scores again. The Islanders up 5-1 with 2:30 left to go in the second. There's a shot from Murray. It's in. They score! Well, you throw the puck towards the net, good things will happen. I think that bounced off of Andrakis' helmet and off his shoulder and then into the back of the net. And Ronan Keenan again. It was a great defensive play by Van Weingarten to hold him off there, but and here
now
comes Nashville again. Yeah, Karaman. With McHale, Kellerman shoots. Oh, and he just missed the net. It popped back out in front, and it's thrown on net by Karaman. Save made by Andrakis. Face off to his right. It is won by Seaberg. Seaberg throws it in front. Jabbing at it is Johnson, but he couldn't get it to go. Karaman will skate out to center. Dangerous shorthanded chance for the Islanders. Karaman across the line. Stops up left point. Gives it right point for McHale. Center point for Karaman. He's got time and space. He walks into the slot. Dishes it off for Flynn. He scores! Kyle Flynn! On a beautiful backdoor pass from Karaman. And the deficit is now 2. It's 5-3 with 14:13 left to go in the third.
Talked about Kyle Flynn having to respond, and he certainly does. As Kyle Flynn, the 20-year-old from Wenatchee, Washington, picks up the goal.
Turnover in front, though. Reynolds trying to fight it. He scores! Reynolds is second of the game, and the Isles get run right back. Couldn't get it out. Left point, McHale. He avoids a check from Martin. Over to the point for Chisholm. Chisholm walks right circle, a shot. Save made the rebound in front. Save made again by Andrakis. That time on Davidson. It is Karaman on the near side. Chips it ahead. Hartz across the line. Throws it in front, but it is intercepted. Not gotten out. Taken away by McHale. Left circle, a shot. Scores! Austin McHale with a great intercept. Walks to the left circle and shoots. He beats Andrakis. And it's back to a 2-goal game. It's 6-4 with 8:10 left to go. Nincumbo is going to be on the draw for Nashville to the right of Andrakis. It'll be Larenchik for IHC. And it comes right to free, a backhand shot, saving the rebound, loose in front. And it's going to be picked up by Cardoza. Cardoza will look to move it out, can't. Kept in left point by McHale, who shoots. Save made on Andrakis, and he holds on. But his pass is picked up, and here's Air, in alone, will shoot. Diving back check, play the rebound, Reynolds. That one was stopped by Duzak as well. Feed for Reynolds. Reynolds makes the move. He'll shoot. Scores! Reynolds, the hat trick. Reestablishes another 3-goal lead for the Islanders at 7-4 with time running out in the third. As we will keep an eye on Daniel Duzak, and it looks like he's going to go to the bench right now.
He's heading there now.
It'll be deflected into the IHC end. Extra attacker on. Levasseur checked behind the net. Puck is loose in that scrum. And Kumbo will poke it free. Flynn, center point for Karaman. Karaman will shoot. Score! It was redirected in front. Puck is free. Roberts has it. He's going to skate to the neutral zone. The shot blocked by Karaman. Roberts throws it towards the open net, and it bounces in. They score!
Do want to give a call out to a few players on the Nashville Spartans team. The number 7 of Trent Van Gels, the 10 of Chris Free, the 26 of Ronan Keenan, the 28 of Sean Karaman, 71 Kyle Flynn, also the 85 of Mason Hartz, as well as the 91 Emmanuel Nincumbo, and also the 20 Austin McHale, the 82 Duncan Chisholm, the 98 Evan Sterling. All are playing their final junior hockey game of their career. And the Nashville Spartans, their season is over, but what an accomplished season they had. Second, the Great Lakes Division. They were the number 3 seed coming in, a feather in the cap, a great season. Nevertheless, for the Nashville Spartans, only their second year in the league, first time ever making the playoffs, and first time here, the USPHL National Championships. Despite the many age-outs, expect the Spartans to be right back here in Utica one year from now.
And unfortunately for the Nashville Spartans, they were unable to rally and come back against the Islanders Hockey Club. So the Nashville Spartans are out of the tournament after the round of 16. An incredible run for a team only in its second year of existence. Last year did not qualify for the playoffs on the last day of the season. This year made sure that they were going to qualify for the playoffs, finishing second in the Great Lakes Division and pushing one of the best teams in all of junior hockey, the Metro Jets, to the limit this season before losing that division title. They put that chip on their shoulder going into the playoffs, got the bye, and then faced off against Toledo Cherokee at home, a powerhouse club. The Spartans swept the Cherokee in the 3-game series, moved on to Utica, won their first 2 games of the seeding round, and then fell in the round of 16. I have no doubt this Spartans team can recover from this, build, and continue moving forward. A lot of players were at the end of their junior career, and I wish them all the best. I look forward to continuing covering them, and hopefully some of them will leave me tickets at some box offices someday for all the good hard work I did helping them get to the national championship tournament. A tremendous season for the Nashville Spartans. It was a tremendous honor to be a part of that, and I can tell you that it has now been a couple of days since that game passed. The Islanders Hockey Club came within 1 goal of being the Cinderella story of Cinderella stories at the national tournament for the Premier Division. The Islanders managed to beat the Metro Jets after defeating the Nashville Spartans, and then they went on a run to the championship game where they fell to the Connecticut Junior Rangers in overtime, 5-4. They had the lead in the third period. They could not hang on. I can't tell a lie. I was pulling for the Islanders Hockey Club to go ahead and close that thing out. After they defeated the Spartans, I followed them the rest of the tournament, and that team was playing not like a 14 seed. They were playing an incredible brand of team-driven hockey. It was a lot of fun to watch. Congratulations to Connecticut Junior Rangers for winning the USPHL Premier National Championship. Congratulations to all 16 teams that qualified. It was a hell of a fun tournament. I wish I could have been there as part of the coverage, but maybe next season, and hopefully the Nashville Spartans will get back. It's already time to open up Spartans training camp, tryouts, all of these things in just about 10 days. So the season may have come to a sudden end, but it will pick back up. So congratulations to everybody on a great season. season. It sure was a lot of fun. And the Spartans made it all the way to the round of 16 in the national championship tournament, and they went 4-1 total in the playoffs in the postseason, their first ever postseason berth. That's going to do it for Spartans coverage for this season. That's not going to do it for the Predators coverage. Relentless comeback. What else can you say? They've adopted the term relentless. It's been 18 games now. They came back from down 3 goals in a game where they could have shrugged their shoulders and just said, all right, well, the streak comes to an end. Let's regroup and start again in Arizona. But they didn't do that. There's something about this team, the relentless nature of this team, whatever it is. They've got that dog in them. I don't know, but this is a team that in previous years coming down the stretch would fold in moments like that. Down the stretch would not be competitive, would not beat teams below them in the standings, and certainly would not be in control of their own season. The Predators find themselves in control of their own season right now, and that was an epic comeback. One of the, you could count them on a single hand, one of the best comebacks in Bridgestone Arena history for that Nashville Predators team. It's the kind of game that can really build that fire amongst the fan base, make them all believers. When the players, the coaches, the fans, when they all start believing together, that's when things start to happen. We'll be here. 10 games to go in the regular season. The Nashville Predators looking to secure their playoff spot, still putting the pressure on the teams above them in the Central Division while holding the teams below them at bay and extending the amount of points they are ahead by beating the Vegas Golden Knights. And they'll have an opportunity to beat St. Louis here coming up here very soon. That's going to do it for Operation number 894. We sure do appreciate each and every one of you jumping in the trenches with the Renegades of Puck. I am your host and captain, Crazy Charlie Saunier. We appreciate your time. We appreciate your viewership, and most importantly, we appreciate you. Stick taps, love, and respect.